Welcome to another episode of Words of Wisdom. In today's episode, we talk to famous Bangalore quizzer and member of the famed team We Are Like That Only or Walto, Tejasvi Udupa. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Tejasvi sir.
You're welcome, Jen. It's a pleasure talking to you guys as well.
Good afternoon, sir. Just starting off with a super simple question about how you came into the quizzing whole thing. How you came about quizzing.
Um, like most things in my life, it just happened accidentally. Unlike a lot of people who are regular quizzes now, I didn't quiz too much in school. School, I was more interested in public speaking, debates, jams, and those kind of things. Uh, yeah, of course, there were one or two quizzes every year that I would take part and do reasonably well, but I never really got into the field of things. I think the first serious quiz that I wrote was Mastermind India. The prelims were happening, and there was a newspaper article saying that there's a nationwide prelims where you're supposed to answer some 100 questions in some 2 hours or whatever, and they take the top end participants to the TV rounds, the quarterfinals, and so on. And fine, for a lark, I wrote it and did very well. And I realized, okay, this is quite enjoyable, and maybe I should do more of it and more regularly. And that's when I was in first year of engineering back then, and I think that's when the bug finally bit me, saying, yeah, this is actually very enjoyable. So started quizzing very regularly, started turning up at KQA regularly, started going to quizzes in every inter-college fest that was happening, and then eventually somewhere along the way discovered the joy of setting questions as well, saying that it's as much joy in setting questions and getting people to answer them than, I mean, as there is in answering questions that other people are asking. And yeah, and that's how it, after a point in time, it just became, I would almost say, like an addiction, because that's like how most people spend weekends doing either running marathons or playing tennis or whatever. I started looking forward to every weekend because either I would be taking part in a quiz somewhere or conducting one somewhere, and it just became part of my lifestyle in that sense.
All right, so speaking about quizzing, how you travel a lot for quizzing, right? This now like after like setting quizzes and all, you travel around a lot. How did that transition? Like, when was the point you decided, yes, this is worth traveling for, and not just like say attending quizzes in Bangalore?
Most of the initial travel happened because somebody or other called me, asked me to conduct a quiz at their fest or something like that. That is why I would travel. So it's like, hey, you're getting tickets and everything arranged by them. You're doing something you enjoy. So what's there in that? Uh, Most of the traveling is revolving around participation started after every city and their club started having big quiz fests where there are multiple quizzes crammed into a couple of days. And there you're doing it more for the enjoyment of the sport, because you know that you're going to find familiar faces there. You're going to find a bunch of people spread all across the world, spread all across the country, who are going to turn up there anyway. It's a good time to catch up with them, and also you're quite kind of assured that the quality of quizzes will be very good. So that's the other set of travel that started happening. And most primarily, I go primarily to Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bombay. I haven't attended, and Calcutta, of course. So these are the quiz fests that I tend to go to. But outside of that, most of the travel is me conducting quizzes somewhere or the other.
So the next question I had was, how was your transition from college quizzing to like an open quizzing scene? When did that completely happen?
Like I said, when I started quizzing itself, I started also attending open quizzes a lot. So for me, there was no transition as such. For me, both of them, I discovered the joys in both of them in parallel in some sense. So there was, but yeah, but I do see for a lot of people, it is a most of the quizzing in college tends to be limited to taking part in quizzes in college fests. And suddenly when they start coming to open quizzes, they say, oh, damn, there's some huge gulf in the kind of questions that are being asked. Because in college quizzes, there's a it's almost like a syllabus, because there are only certain things that college kids are interested in. So the questions also tend to reflect those interests. And in most quiz masters cases, those interests might be specific set of movies and TV shows that he or she watches, or a set of books that he or she enjoys reading. And there seems to be a very narrow sliver of human interest that tend to get covered in college quizzes. But when you go to open quizzes, one thing you quickly realize is that, oh, that's not all that you can ask questions about, and the questions tend to be very widely varied. And that is the gulf that a lot of college quizzes find hard to cross, because they're used to a certain kind of question, and suddenly they're seeing a completely different kind of question where the emphasis is also on knowing something that they're not very well versed with in some sense, or not, it doesn't really fall under their interests. A lot of history or geography, for example, which don't tend to make too much of an impression in college quizzes, but a lot of them in open quizzes. So for me personally, there was no transition. But if somebody wants to make that transition, I think there's no set formula or anything. Because at the end of the day, if you're enjoying uh, questions, if you're enjoying the fact that you're learning something new, fine. Maybe the first few open quizzes you're going to do horribly because all those words that are being thrown at you are very alien. But then if they spark some interest, you then end up reading up about it. And most quizzes are curious creatures by default. So if your curiosity is stoked, then you start reading up more and more. You start watching documentaries or do whatever. You can never really prepare for a quiz. You just do things that you're interested in. And if you're interested in something, they tend to stick in your mind. And things that stick in your mind, you can always regurgitate them in quizzes. And that's part of the enjoyment process of quizzes as well.
So coming to open quizzing and college quizzing topics in general, how do you feel like setting has been different? Like at this point, you're both a very well-known open quizzer as well as a renowned quiz master in these circles. So how do you feel like setting for these circles is different from sitting in a quiz?
See, one thing you have to understand is your audience. So if you're doing a college quiz, you need to have an understanding that, hey, these are the set of things that a college going student will possibly know about. He may not know the answer. It doesn't mean that everything that you ask has to be easy. I personally don't like setting quizzes where everybody scores 30 on 30 in the prelims. I mean, that's not the point of a quiz. It's not like a school exam where you need to get a centum kind of a thing. But all those 30 questions, when the answers are given out, is that likely to spark a reaction of, oh, that's actually interesting? Oh, this is something I could have got if I just thought about it a little more. That's the reaction you need to be going for. And for that reaction to happen, whatever you're asking on needs to be in the universe of things that are known to the college students. So, for example, if you're doing a quiz, let the answers be, let the stories that you're talking about be about more well-known people. It can be about Amitabh Bachchan, but let's say not about KL Sehgal from the 1930s or 40s, because no college kid would know who KL Sehgal is. And even if you dig out some interesting anecdote about him, it wouldn't really spark too much interest. But instead, if you dig out something interesting about a more mainstream person, now that is something that is they may or may not already know it, and they may or may not get points for answering it. But it is likelier to make an impression, and they're likelier to remember that particular fact or anecdote. And that is what I tend to go for in college quizzes. It's not about the ease or toughness of the questions, but more about the what the topics that are actually being covered are, and are they actually things that a college kid would appreciate.
All right, so no, more on a personal note, one of my friends wanted to ask you this. What's the story behind your Instagram name? I mean, why Udupendra? Is there a story behind that? Did that just come up?
Not much of a story. That was my college nickname. Udupa being my surname and Upendra being an actor that I really liked. I mean, I really love his movies, the movies that he's directed. And one of my college seniors combined the two and just came up with a nickname, Udupendra. And I like the sound of it. So for most online things like Instagram or Twitter or wherever you need some sort of a display or some sort of an identity, I tend to use that.
Okay, sir. Also, now back onto the quizzing topic. We'd like to know how WLTW came to be, sir. We are like that only.
We are like this only. The team is pretty much as old as I am. They're actually an 80s team. They've been around since the late 80s. I joined them only in 2003 or 4. I was a replacement for one of their members, Movin Miranda, who moved to Malaysia from Bangalore. And when Movin moved, they wanted a replacement. And I was sort of like young blood that was infused into the team, because the team, I mean, everyone in the team, even today, are around 2 decades older than I am. And they realized that they were missing out on a lot of stuff that was more contemporary in nature, more contemporary pop culture and stuff like that. And back then their thought was, hey, let's get some young kid. And they thought, okay, yeah, this young kid seems to be doing well in quizzes anyway. Let's get him into the team. And yeah, now it's been 16, 17 years since I've been part of that team, and uh, they're a really enjoyable set of people. For me, I probably meet them more often outside quizzes than in quizzes, and they're they've essentially become a bunch of friends that I really like hanging out with. So I don't even look at them as, hey, these are much older people. That they're pretty much good hangout company for drinks or catching up at any point in time. But yeah, the team is much older than I am. I'm still in that sense the newest member of that team, even though I've been in that team now for some 16, 17 years. The name, the multiple theories as to where the name comes from. One theory is that it's a translation of Shankar Nag's hit movie Nodi Swami Nirvolo Hige. The other theory is just the typical Indian statement of saying, oh, we are like this only, kind of a thing, which came out later as a book by Rama Bijapurkar as well. Anushtup, my teammate, who's a marketing professional just like Rama Bijapurkar, says he knew that from before. So that's where it actually comes from.
So you're not personally sure of where the name came from.
No idea where the name came from.
Okay, sir. So now let's move on to something more current. As I've come to recall, you work at roofandfloor.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
How do you balance your professional life with quizzing? Like, obviously, not all quizzes happen on the weekend, right? So how does that happen?
Thankfully, most of the quizzes do happen on weekends. I mean, until recently, until the lockdown started. Somehow during the lockdown, there seems to be far more quizzing that is happening than there were before the lockdown started. But it's again, online quizzes don't have the same flavor as the uh, in real life work. I mean, on offline ones. But yeah, I try to keep most of my quizzing for weekends itself. Sometimes, yes, you're supposed to conduct a quiz either in a college or a company, and that tends to be on a weekday. As long as I know well in advance, it allows me to just plan around it, put that date in my calendar saying that, okay, yeah, this day I'm not there, and then plan around it. But it's not too much of a struggle, and it's not like I'm spending a lot of weekdays trying to do quizzing activities. And the other thing is, I don't want quizzing to become my work, because then my fear is that I'll stop enjoying it. Because my definition of work is that it needs to be mildly boring, and that's how work should always be, because otherwise it just tends to take over your life entirely. And what I feel is that's like separation of church and the state. I don't want quizzing to become my means of livelihood, because if that happens, then I might stop enjoying quizzing. Then I won't really have anything to look forward to during weekends. So that's the reason I try to keep all my quizzing activity to something that happens during the weekends where I look forward to it, and weekdays are for the rest of the things that I do.
And what about other hobbies, sir? You mentioned in college you were very much into debating and jams and all those kind of things. Do you still follow those, or is it just quizzing now?
Yeah. I was into a lot of public speaking things like debates and jams, but that was more in school and to some extent in college as well. But as quizzing started taking more and more of my time, I think they just slowly fell off the map, and I could get far more enjoyment from quizzes than from those activities. So they just naturally kind of fell off the map.
And how about home life, sir? Like, do your parents sometimes complain that you're spending more of your time quizzing, or do they enjoy quizzing? And have your parents or your wife ever joined you at a quiz of sorts?
I think my parents, my wife, all of them have given up on me when it comes to this. So I think they've come to a conclusion that there isn't much that they can actually do. Neither of my parents are into quizzing, but I do sometimes ask them some of the questions that I'm setting generally. My mom, I enjoys answering some of those questions. And it's also a good dipstick check of how accessible or how easy or tough a particular question might be. So I do tend to use both my parents and my wife for that. Sometimes my wife, when she finds something interesting in a movie she's watching or a TV series she's watching, she will point out saying that, hey, can this be a quiz question in one of your quizzes? And they tend to then therefore appear in my quizzes as well. So there is a kind of a peripheral contribution from them. But in terms of, yeah, I mean, of course, they're not very happy with the amount of time that is taken away from them with my quizzing. But I guess they've just come to terms with it and have stopped grumbling.
All right, sir. To conclude, you just set up a quiz for IPA quiz last week, right? On an online quiz. How do you
Yeah,
feel
that
that
was
was
the mini
different
quizzes
from?
I did last week.
Yeah, how do you feel that was different from the normal quizzing experience? Like, how different was it to you?
It was very different in the sense that I'm personally not a big fan of these online quizzes, but then that's the thing. Online quizzes are very different from the more offline ones that we're used to. They're not as enjoyable. Uh, I mean, of course, now you don't really have recourse to any offline quizzes, so online quizzes are all what you get. But then there's always that nagging doubt in your mind whether the people taking part are doing it entirely on their own, or are they getting or they're up to something shady. But and you can't really accuse them of doing that. But there's always that nagging doubt. You can never really say for sure. And at least in an offline quiz, there's never that thing. In an actual quiz, when there are 8 finalists sitting there, no access to their phones, that the only thing that they're digging into is their recesses of memory and trying to come up with an answer, and that is obviously way more enjoyable. But yeah, online quizzes are fun. It is what is now filling that void that offline quizzes has left behind, given the quarantine is happening. And I mean, it's a substitute, but it isn't a great substitute, is what I would say.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon, Tejasvi, sir. We're really looking forward to
No
chatting with you
worries,
some
Jen.
other
No
time.
worries, Pasha.
Thank you.